All right. So you have your own resume that you created. Yours should look a little different. Remember, InDesign uses multiple pages. You can add pages on to what you're working with. So what we're going to do is we're going to add one more page to your resume that's going to be your artist statement. And this is what it's going to look like. Very simple setup, but there's kind of something cool that we're going to do with your picture. First of all, it's going to have a heading. It's going to be formatted a certain way, a subhead to be formatted, and then we're also going to format the text a certain way. And you can look on the sheet that I handed out and see exactly how I want it to be done and want it to flow in. So I'll kind of just step through everything and show you how I set this up and how we can work with it. I'm going to delete this page. We'll say OK. So if you have your resume set up, the first thing we need to do is to create a new page within InDesign. What you need to look for is the Pages palette. Remember, most of your palettes are on the right-hand side, so find one that says Pages, and when you click on it, it'll pop out and look like this. If you don't see the Pages palette, remember you can find all of the palettes under the Window drop-down menu, and there's Pages right there. To add a new page, you can see page 1 little icon. Click the bottom right-hand corner, and it'll add a new page onto here. Now notice this. See how it added one page to the left side? And if I kept clicking, it'll add more pages side to side. Why is it doing this? Why does it start off there and then two of them? It's like a book, like doing a page layout. If you were doing a magazine or a newspaper, this is the way it would naturally look once you lay out the pages. The first page, page 1, of course you're only seeing one page as if it was closed down. All of these are the spread pages. This is called facing pages setup. I'll show you one more thing. If you make a new document, notice one of the options to choose is facing pages, and that's what this is, facing pages. If you unchecked it, it would just add pages one after another, and they wouldn't be laid out like a book. So that's what this option allows you to do. Okay. If you need to delete any pages, you can always select a page by clicking on it and then click on the little trash can, and that'll delete away those pages. I don't need all of those, so we'll get rid of those. Okay, so I've got my margins set up, I've got everything. First thing you're going to do is to create a heading at the top. You remember how to add text, you need to use your type tool, so I chose my type tool. Click and drag, make a type box, and we're just going to call it Artist Statement. Okay. And to format my text, remember you highlight it, and you can change the font to any font that you want, or the size, or the formatting up here. For the artist statement, however, I want you to choose a serif font. There's two types of font families you can choose from, serif and sans serif. Y'all look up here on the board. I kind of drew off. If you ever see a font that has little feet to it, little things usually on the edges of them that kind of stick off, these are called serifs. Serif is kind of it's a Sanskrit word, an Indian word. It just means, I think it means extra. Sans serif, sans means without. So it's without the little extra feet. So when you see a font that has this, it's a serif font. These types are sans serif fonts. Can y'all name a serif font? Times. Times New Roman is one like this. Baskerville. I won't get into that. Can you name a sans serif font? Helvetica. Helvetica is one. Optima. Those type of fonts are sans serif. In general, you usually use sans serif as a heading, and you use serif as body text. Serif fonts are easier to read when they're really small, because these little feet will lead your eyes along the line. Whereas sans serif, they can blow up very well. But we're going to do the opposite. I want this to be the heading, and I want this to be a subhead. Okay? We're just doing something different. So let's choose a sans serif font. Of course, I can click on my fonts in the top left-hand corner. You see the little example of them. So what's one that kind of jumps out to you?
Serif or sans?
Serif font. I tell you what, let's try Minion Pro. I'll even do it bold. We'll make it larger. What I want you to do is to fill it up going all the way across. And you can even make it all caps if you want, or small caps. And even change the coloring of it. I'll leave it up to you how you want it to be done. Next thing we'll do is to make a subhead of it. First of all, I want to make my box a little smaller. And then we'll make another text box. And this text box, it'll read, let's see, artist statement about the work of, and then your name, so Ben Ivy. This one, we'll choose a sans serif font. Optima, I like Optima. And we'll make it pretty big as well. All cool? Very, very simple. That's the easy part of it. Now we're going to add the body copy. I saved my artist statement as a Word document. I have it here on the desktop. If you didn't know, you can click on an icon and press the space bar, and it'll open up and give you a preview of what it looks like. This comes in handy when looking at images or text documents. And I just typed in some dummy text for now. What I want to do is I'm going to make another text box that fills up this bottom portion, just one text box. And remember how we dropped in an image? We made an image box and then we placed an image inside of it. We're going to do the same thing for text. So I've got my image cursor, go to File and down to Place. Notice the keyboard shortcut, Command D. And instead of looking for an image, we're going to choose the artist statement that we have. And when I hit Open, it'll flow the text into there. So there's no need to copy and paste or to open up two documents. You can do it straight from there. Now all I have to do is to be able to format it. And I do want it formatted a certain way. First thing I need to do is, let's see, I will follow along my things that I have. Set the font to be Times. So I'm going to select all of it. Just going to start typing out Times at the top. For the size of it, I want it to be between 12 and 15 points. What I want it to do is to fill up the entire page once you have your picture on here. And so you can adjust the size of your font to depending on how you want to be on there. Some people have more words, some people will have less, so 12 to 15. I want a first line indent of 1/4 of an inch. Where is my first line indent? Where should I look? To the right. Right up here. So the first line indent is this one right here. So 0.25 inches. Uh-oh. Well, oh, that was the last line indent. My bad. This is the one I want. 0.25. Remember what the first line indent does. It'll give you an indentation of the first one. This one should be 0. I'll delete that away. Okay. The next thing I want it to do is, let's see. If for some reason you have any type of double spaces, so if yours looks like this where it has multiple spaces, we don't want to do that. We just want to get it all, the text all together looking like that. Second thing, I want this first letter to have what's called a drop cap. If you've ever read a book and the first letter is super big and it takes up multiple lines, here's how you can do this in InDesign. Select that letter, or really you can just select the whole line, but I'm going to select that first letter. We're going to change the indent back to 0 because I don't want it to be indented. And the first line drop cap is, let's see, it's always changed up. If you don't see it, look on the very far right side and choose, there it is, drop caps and nested text. This will give you a pop-up. And what we're looking for is the number of lines that to take up, and I believe I have it set to 3 lines, and the number of characters. We just want that first character. By default, it'll choose 1. See what it did? If I did more characters, I can add on as many as I want, but we're going to keep it at just the first one. If you add lines, you see how it's taking up multiple lines from there. Pretty cool. And if you adjust your leading, remember the leading is the space between lines, it'll also automatically adjust as well. So we'll set it to 3, we'll say OK. And I'm also going to change the color of this to match the color up here. All good. So we've got it formatted, we've got it set up, looking pretty good. Last thing I need to do to this text is to make it 2 columns. Do y'all remember how to do 2 columns? Choose your selection tool, and then right here, change it to 2. So now I've got it set to 2.
Do it again.
Okay. At the very top, the use your selection tool, the black arrow, and then change this number to 2. So instead of it being 1, you can press 2 and go up from there. Real simple. Okay. Now comes the fun part, actually adding your images in. Let's see where I saved. See if I downloaded a... y'all bear with me just for a second. I had an image that I was working from, and I want to make sure just to get it as well. Individual pages. No. There it is. So this was the one that I used for my example. I'm going to give you the picture that I took of you earlier today, and I'll drop it on your desktop. But this is the one that we'll work from, say, for this one. Now, this only works if you have a white background. It won't work for another color or if you have something complex. What I'm about to show you works best if you have something white in the background. So to add an image, remember we use the picture frame tool. I'm going to do it off to the side. Make a picture. I'm going to hit Command D to drop it in, because remember that was our keyboard shortcut, so Command D. Let's choose our person and place her in here. Now of course I can change up my size of my frame to get her framed up. I'm going to place it in front of here. What I want to do is I want to clip out the outer edge of this, this person. And I can get the computer to do this for me automatically. With the image selected, you can go to Object, choose Clipping Path. Clipping Path is going to make a path for me, and then Options. This dialog box will come up. The type we're going to select is to detect the edges. It's going to look at my picture and try to find the white edge to what I have. So when I have Detect Edges turned on, and let's see. I then adjust my threshold to get it to, there we go, automatically choose. If I bring this up, you see it's getting rid of the amount of white that I want it to be. It's also picking up a little bit of her hand, so I need to play around with it to get it just right. Let's see. Notice that it is picking up her hand, and it will not get everything. I'll show you what I'll do. I think this is pretty good for now. We'll say OK. So I've got her placed in here. I'll just pull my frame up to cut her off. Pretty cool, huh? If I wanted to make it bigger, first of all, I need to make my frame bigger. And then I can click in the center here, and then click on the little brown box to make her bigger as well. And it'll also change up the size. Have I lost anybody? Any questions? Real simple. All that I had to do, that was found under Object and Clipping Path, and then the Options. Now comes the really fun part. How do I get my text to wrap around her as well? Right now she's just on top of the box that I have. I want the text to interact with her. So I'm going to click on her image. I need to find my text wrap palette. I don't see it off to the side here, so I'm going to go to Window, choose Text Wrap. Text wrap is what's going to allow the text to, quote, wrap around it. By default, there's no wrap on, so the text is just going to flow behind it. The second one allows it to wrap around the box that it's in, but we want to wrap around the object, in other words, the picture that's inside of it. So we're going to choose the third one. Now look at the text. See how it flows nicely around this? And it does get pretty close to this edge. I'm going to zoom in. See how it's very, very close to the edge? I kind of want to push it away a little bit. Let me back up. So with my image selected, this number here is called the text offset. It's going to push it off by a little bit. And when I increase the number, you see there's another line going around it, and that'll also push the text off away from it this way. Pretty cool? We'll zoom back out. And so this is how you're going to set up your document and be able to get your text to flow around the picture that you have. Anybody need me to show you that again? We're doing magic here. Okay. All right. Once this is finished, and like I said, it can be done really quickly, you're going to print this off. Under File, go down to Print, and of course you can choose the color printer. If you've already printed the first page, then you only need to really print the second page. And that's where this range comes in. Notice it's printing pages 1 to 2. If you needed just page 2, you can choose 2, and it would print only the second page from there. But if you want to print both, you can choose both pages as well. We'll hit Print, and that's going to be printed off from there. Remember, both of these pages are going to be due by the end of class today. I want to show everybody one more thing before I let you go. In this lab, we have CS5, version 5 of InDesign. The newest version is CS6, which is actually what the other lab has, and what many of you may have on your own personal computers. If you make a document in version 6, and you try to open it up in version 5, it's going to give you an error. A couple people have already experienced this. What you need to do is to save it down, dumb it down to version 5. And if you have one of these, I've got version 6 on my laptop. You can come to me and we'll do it. But I'll show you what to look for. It's going to be different on your computer. But when you go to File and Save As, in the format, on version 6, there should be a version 5 or older to be able to save it as. And that's what you'll choose from. On 5, it's not on here, but you can save it as an older one on version 6. And if you have that problem, come to me and we'll work it out to be able to go from there. Okay? Be sure to also save everything to your computer. I'm going to turn your computer back over to you, and I'll let you know when